This is the Matt's Madness Show. This week, I go over Monday Night Raw, who's going to win the Royal Rumble, the decline of Roman Reigns' character, and is Brock Lesnar staying or going? So many questions to be answered this week. We'll get it all rolling right after this.
Podcasting from the capital city of the great state of New York. This is the Matt's Madness Show, a weekly podcast about the world of professional wrestling.
Give me a hell yeah!
Technology, and damn near anything else that comes to mind. And now, here's your host, Matt Corsell.
All right, guys, welcome to Matt's Madness. Thank you once again for joining me. Contact info, Matt_Madness on Twitter. My website, mattsmadness.com. I'm also on iTunes under Matt's Madness. I'm on Stitcher as well, YouTube under Matt's Madness. So, hey, any kind of media platform, we're expanding at a very fast rate, and things are growing and doing great. So, now before I get started, I got to admit here, I am a very frustrated individual today. I had an awesome discussion with Donald Wood from Ring Rust Radio, and we talked for about an hour, and it was one of the best wrestling conversations that I've had in a while, and a very intelligent guy. The Ring Rust Radio is doing awesome. They are clearly the gold standard here for the wrestling podcast, so I had a great conversation, and I go and play back the audio, and there's an echo every single time he talks. Not his fault at all. What I had forgotten to do was turn off my damn default speaker on my computer, so it wasn't only using my microphone, the actual microphone I use to talk, but it also had the internal speakers and the internal microphone on the computer, so it was double recording everything. And it just sounds, I was going to put it up, but I don't want any kind of crappy audio coming out either making him sound bad, and it really was unlistenable, and I didn't want to put out a piece of crap product. So hopefully we can have him back next week after the Monday Night Raw leading into the Royal Rumble. He's nice enough to come on with me, so hopefully we can get him back for next week. I really hope we can, because you guys are in for a treat if that happens. So I'm also in the works to get some other guests down the line, so we're going to kind of continue this as a little bit of a routine here every pay-per-view, and once it starts to close in, we're going to try to grab some great guests and get them on the show. So very frustrating couple of days. I tried everything to find a way to get rid of that echo, and once it's recorded, it's kind of like set in stone. There's not much you can do. So, but hey, we're going to pick ourselves up, move along here, and I want to get to Monday Night Raw, and I won't go through every segment here because it's now, I'm recording this on a Friday, and Monday Night Raw was now 4 days ago, so we're kind of looking forward to next Monday, and I'll just kind of give a very bare bones analysis of Monday Night Raw, just kind of go over the major storylines and answer some of the questions here that I know a lot of people are talking about, including the decline of Roman Reigns, which is a phenomenon at this point, and it's almost laughable but kind of sad at the same time. Is Brock staying or going? It's going to have huge implications for who's going to win the Royal Rumble main event, triple threat for the championship. Is The Undertaker done? And will we ever see Stone Cold in one last match? Hey, I'll answer all those. I'll give you my personal opinion. Now, let's go over Monday Night Raw real quick. I did enjoy the show. It makes such a difference when you have the stars on the show. When you have Lesnar, Heyman, and you have Cena, and you have Rollins, and you have Daniel Bryan. They're all there. It makes such a difference for the show. And these guys really contributed to the 3-hour marathon that is Monday Night Raw. I thought that the open was hot, and it needed to be. They were pushing SmackDown a lot with Daniel Bryan returning to action. I get it. They're trying to promote SmackDown because it is the return to Thursday night, so it kind of draws attention and gets everyone on board to the fact that SmackDown is moving to Thursday night. So, hey, I mean, that's fine. I would have really waited to see him at the Royal Rumble, but I understand from a business perspective of why Daniel Bryan was put in on Thursday night. So, I thought it was really good having all the stars on the show. The Rusev versus Ambrose match, the ref's stoppage for Ambrose's knee. It's a way to keep Rusev's streak intact and Ambrose strong. Again, I think they have really big plans for Rusev. I could definitely see him interfering in the triple threat match to set up a Cena-Rusev match at WrestleMania, in which Cena finally conquers Rusev's undefeated streak. Totally could see that, because this triple threat match going into the Royal Rumble is one of the most unpredictable that we've really seen in quite some time in terms of so many scenarios. It's mind-boggling, but I do like the addition of Seth Rollins. Was I looking forward to a Cena-Lesnar finale? Yes, because it was originally bid as the finale for these guys. And they have great matches. There's no one really else for Lesnar to work with at the time. And Cena was the face of the company, so I get it. But Rollins has really escalated himself, and this is his first opportunity at a main event level match for the championship. And Rollins, I got to give a lot of credit to. He has done an awesome job. To me, he's the MVP of 2014, hands down. He is, in my opinion, the number one heel in the company. You could make an argument for Brock Lesnar, but at the same time, yes, Brock Lesnar's a bigger name. He's a bigger attraction, but he's not a bigger heel. That's the difference. Seth Rollins knows how to be a heel, and he's being booked as a heel. Bad guy. Why as a fan, logically, should I dislike Brock Lesnar? There is no logical reason for it. He is just an ass-kicking machine. He comes out, he doesn't retreat, he doesn't cheat, he just comes in, dominates, and leaves. Or as Paul Heyman likes to say, eat, sleep, conquer, and repeat. It's really mind-boggling why we should hate Brock Lesnar, other than the fact of him being associated with Paul Heyman. So, hey, just a little bit of opinion on my end. I know some people would disagree that Brock is the number one heel, but hey, I really would disagree. I would say Seth Rollins is, and he's done an awesome job this year. I do like his addition to the triple threat. I thought the last segment of Raw, I'm just kind of go over the main storylines here. The last segment of Raw really helped the triple threat at the Royal Rumble. Paul Heyman is magic. This guy has got a silver tongue. He's the top promo guy in the company, hands down. I don't care if you're talking about talent, manager, or whatever. Nobody can touch Paul Heyman right now. Nobody. And he can sell, as I said earlier in the conversation, that isn't on here because of my awesome oversight of the microphone dispute. Paul Heyman could sell ice to an Eskimo. I mean, this guy, and that's his job, is to be a salesman. He needs to sell you on why you need to see this match. He not only needs to put over Brock Lesnar, but he needs to put over his opponents. And Heyman does that. This guy is he is an asset that is irreplaceable on Raw. So that segment at the end was great. I don't see Rollins winning this match. I know he has a plan A and a plan B, which is his Money in the Bank, so he technically has two shots to win. But here is my theory on WrestleMania. We're going to see a Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan match. Daniel Bryan wins the Royal Rumble. He goes on. Lesnar retains at the Royal Rumble. Bryan somehow pulls out a win because now we have Lesnar, who is the champion, who held it for almost a year, the championship, after beating The Undertaker. So he's got some steam rolling into WrestleMania. And Daniel Bryan goes over. In other words, Lesnar does the job. It comes full circle with the streak being ended, and it actually makes the streak being ended worth it because now Daniel Bryan has beaten Brock Lesnar, and Lesnar beat the streak. So, in other words, it elevates Daniel Bryan to another level. Daniel Bryan wins somehow. He's left in the ring at the end of the show, and out comes Seth Rollins. He cashes in. Rollins becomes champion. And these two, Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins, feud. I could see 3, 4, 5 pay-per-views even. These guys would put on a show. They're probably, in my opinion, from a wrestling perspective, Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins are hands down the best wrestlers. I know that's a dirty word in WWE, but damn it, they're the best wrestlers on the roster, bar none. So putting these two together makes perfect sense. And the feeling is that Lesnar is going to be going away anyway after WrestleMania. So it gives Daniel Bryan somebody to work with right away. There's no gap, there's no question, and it continues the babyface chase after the title, and it puts Seth Rollins even more over as a heel. So I know that's just one scenario. There's 100, because I don't know if Lesnar's staying or going or whatnot, but there's so many questions to be answered. And I think, if my opinion is that if Lesnar is going to stay, and that's a huge if, huge. If Lesnar stays, I could see Paul Heyman possibly turning on Lesnar, which would turn Brock Lesnar babyface. And turning Brock Lesnar babyface could be done in the blink of an eye. This guy, like I said before, you have no reason to hate him. So you could flip the switch. This guy would be the biggest babyface you've seen in years. And him going against Seth Rollins even. And I think at the Royal Rumble, you're going to see shades of Brock Lesnar as a babyface going against Seth Rollins, because those two are going to implode in the match at some point, and the crowd's going to definitely side with Lesnar for sure. So a lot of things happening, and this is all just based on if Daniel Bryan wins the Royal Rumble. I mean, what are they going to do with Roman Reigns and his character? You know, at one point, Roman Reigns was billed to be the next John Cena. And I think WWE is still trying, desperately, I guess, to spoon-feed us Roman Reigns. And that is the last thing that WWE needs to do, is spoon-feed us anybody. They need to organically, naturally, and slowly connect with the crowd. It needs to. You can't just shove it down our throat. We will regurgitate it back in your face. And the promos that Roman Reigns is cutting have been a topic and point of discussion throughout the wrestling community over the last month or so. They are very head scratching. They're embarrassing at times. They're uncomfortable to watch. I don't know who is responsible for them, but I do know that they are not doing Roman Reigns any favors for sure. Roman Reigns has taken a nosedive, in my opinion, from where he was. There's no question that Roman Reigns has never been a silver tongue on the mic. He's never been that way. He needs to do his talking in the ring. He needs to be more serious. He needs to come out, hide his weaknesses, and display his strengths. That is how you get somebody over. Everybody has weaknesses and strengths. You need to play to his strengths. Right now, Roman Reigns on the mic it is embarrassing at times to watch. And as a fan, it is very uncomfortable to watch, because you know what he's saying he doesn't believe. You know what he's saying is not coming from who he is and what he is. It's coming from a script backstage, whether it's Vince McMahon writing it, whether it's 21 and a half writers writing it for him. I don't know who gives the stamp of approval. I know Vince McMahon does, but I don't know how he does. How do you look at these promos talking about Jack and the Beanstalk? You know, talking about Disney characters, talking about Superman, comparing himself to Superman. How is this getting approved? It is not believable. It is hurting him. You know it's not real. Anybody can see when somebody's being real. You can see through BS. And right now, Roman Reigns is BSing us, and it's coming off childish. It's not coming off real. So it needs to be changed. Let Roman Reigns be himself. That is how the most successful personalities in the company have come to be, is to be extensions of themselves, turned up to 11. Let Roman Reigns be himself, and then just dial it up a lot, obviously, for TV. If you be somebody, you try to be someone you're not, it's going to show, and it is shown for sure over the past month or so, especially. Talking about Looney Tunes and Suffer and Succotash. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing as a wrestling fan. I don't want to see this, because it's hard. Your belief is no longer suspended. It takes me out of the moment. It's fake. It's phony. It's It's whatever word you want to use to describe it. It's just not working. So that's my rant. Roman Reigns has a lot of potential. He has clearly the look, and I think that's what WWE is hanging their hat on, that this guy was the muscle of the Shield. He's got the size, he's got the look, but he does not have the promo skills. At some point, it's going to have to come a time when Roman Reigns learns how to speak on the mic. And you know what? The time to do it is at the house shows, the non-televised events. That's where these guys hone their craft. That's where things are experimented, because it's really a no-risk scenario. It's not live on TV, but you're still in front of a crowd. So if Roman Reigns wants to improve his mic skills, do it in front of a live crowd, non-televised. Don't give him scripted crap that is hokey, it's not believable, and it's childish. And then that's really all I'm going to say about that. So as far as his wrestling skills go, I think he does have a lot of potential. I think he needs to rely less on that Superman punch, which he needs to rename. I know it's not going to get renamed at this point, but the Superman punch it sounds childish. I mean, would you have heard Superman punch as a finisher in the 1990s during the Attitude Era? It's hokey to me. And the fact that closed fist punches are even legal in WWE right now is kind of, mind-boggling, and it hurts the product. I understand right now that the curtain has been pulled back so far on the company and on the product, and Vince knows that. The fact that the curtain has been pulled back in terms of everybody knows it's a work. Everybody knows it's not, real, it's fake, whatever you want to call it. So he's just dubbing himself as a entertainment company, a sports entertainment company. But guess what? The most successful guys in the company will make you believe just for a moment. It's called suspending belief. And when you have guys like John Cena going on Twitter congratulating Triple H for his International Hall of Fame induction 2 days after Triple H fired 3 of his friends, it's just contradictory. You can't have it both ways. They use social media to gain a connection with the fans, but then they do it in a way that contradicts their real life personas. You can't have it both ways. If you want people to emotionally invest in your product, you need to have them believe. The best matches are ones in which you scratch your head and you think, hey, maybe these guys actually really don't like each other. Maybe that's it. And the fact that the announcers also don't do us any favors, and JBL's commentating is another rant that I don't want to get on, because JBL he needs to, I don't know what he needs to do, but he needs to maybe just stop talking, get off the mic for a while, take some lessons from Jim Ross. I don't know if he's being fed it in his headset or whatnot, but JBL needs to stop calling weapons toys. He needs to stop referring to things as comical, and he needs to take the product more seriously. I don't know if it's just his tone of voice or maybe just the sound of his voice in general. Don't know, but to me, JBL is taking away from the show. Hopefully Booker T can come in, add some legitimate believability and credibility to the product, because right now JBL isn't doing it for me, and they need to stop calling wrestling matches performances and entertaining. Don't say that the fans are standing in applause and they're at the effort that these two individuals put in to entertain us, and the performance of these guys. It's like watching a Broadway show and then they take their bow and we all clap for their performance, or we watch a magic show. No, that is not what I need to be hearing from the voice of the WWE. That is, I'm sure it's coming through the damn headset, but the whole believability thing, if you want, again, this is the whole formula, this is the basics here. If you want the crowd to emotionally invest in the product and care about the product and dump money and open our wallets and subscribe to the network and buy your merchandise, you need to have the crowd believe that maybe these characters could be real. That is the whole formula. Stop pulling back the curtain. Stop telling us what we're watching is a performance. I don't want to watch a movie and have every 10 minutes let us know that what you're seeing is a performance. I don't need to do that. I need to be immersed in the story. I need to understand why two people are fighting. I don't need to know that they're going out there working with each other and they're having a performance and they're putting on a show for us. I don't need to hear that crap. I need to know and actually somewhat believe. I've been watching wrestling for 20 years, and the best matches I can remember are ones in which I actually felt something for, not sitting there and thinking about, oh, these guys are putting on a great show. I need to know that they are possibly actually trying to harm one another. So that is just a little bit of the problem right now. And the fact that if you go on Stephanie McMahon's Twitter page, the marketing manager, whatever she wants to, the brand operating officer, whatever the hell she wants to brand herself and call herself, a McMahon in her profile on Twitter says she plays a bad guy on TV. You have got to be kidding me, right? Is the product that transparent that we've gone to the fact that WWE, who's putting on the show, needs to tell us and remind us every single time that what we're not seeing is real? Yes, we all know it's not real. Like I said, it's like going to a movie. You know it's not real, but you want to be immersed in the story. You need to care. You need to feel something. Emotion sells merchandise. Emotion is what creates cash. So that is a little bit of a rant. I understand that. I'm thinking some people probably feel the same way I do. I know WWE will never hear this. They probably never will. But I hope that, at some point they wake the hell up and they realize that they can't be really just burying themselves. But they think they're trying to really outsmart us, or they're outsmarting themselves. They're trying to be, I guess, intelligent by letting us know that they know it's not real, by calling themselves entertainment. To me, entertainment is a side effect of what's happening. It's not the focal point and what needs to be said of what's happening. You need to tell me a story, tell me why I should care, why these people are fighting, and then I will emotionally invest. Give me characters that are believable. Don't give me a script. Give me the real person dialed up to 11, and it will come out organically. If they fall flat on their face, that's fine, but at least I know they're being real. So, I'll get off that soapbox, but I don't know how else to describe that. So, I'm going to take a quick break. If you guys stay with me, and I hope you will, I'm going to answer 2 quick questions. 1, is Brock Steiner going? And 2, is The Undertaker done? If not, who his final opponent is? Okay, a 3rd question. Will we ever see the rattlesnake inside a squared circle again? I'll answer that right after this.
And now, back to the Matt's Madness Show.
All right, guys, right into this here. Is Brock Steiner going? Man, I hate reading the dirt sheets online, but all sources that I've heard seem to be pointing to the fact that Brock Lesnar's leaving. He wants to try his hand again in MMA, and you know what? I'm all for it. I'd rather have somebody, a champion on Raw, at least every other week, 2-3 times a month. I can't handle this constant absence. The eat, sleep, stay at home, repeat guy. We need a champion there, and Brock maybe can come back, for a one-off again at WrestleMania against somebody. Who knows? But I'd like Brock to stay, of course. And I think Paul Heyman, who's actually one of his best friends in real life, will probably try to get him to stay. But in the end, Brock Lesnar's going to do what Brock Lesnar wants to do, and he can. Good for him. This guy's an attraction. He's a once-in-a-lifetime athlete. There's nobody like Brock Lesnar, so he can do anything he wants at this point. My guess, Lesnar's leaving. I'm going to kind of backtrack on what I said about if Brock Lesnar loses at the Rumble. That's kind of a sign of what they're doing. I don't think that's the case because I could see Brock Lesnar holding the title until WrestleMania. It further establishes the whole streak ending being worth it, and it further gives Brock some steam to go in to be defeated by Daniel Bryan or whoever they feel is going to be the next it guy. Hopefully not Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is not ready, but I won't get back on that. Is The Undertaker done? If not, who will his final opponent be? I don't think The Undertaker's done. The Undertaker is also another once in a generation. We'll never see another Undertaker. I don't think he's done, though. I think he's got 1, maybe 2 matches left. But when he does make that decision for his last match, WWE is not dumb. They will capitalize on that. They will announce that this is his retirement match. If he just rode off into the sunset without announcing it, it's kind of a lost opportunity. You want fans to know, so it's a can't miss, because it's almost taken for granted that Undertaker's going to be there every year. If you know he's not going to be there, it's an even more incentive for fans to tune in and be like, oh my God, this guy's a legend. It's his last match. So I don't think he's done this year. Rumors of him and Bray Wyatt, I'm cool with that. Him and Sting, the problem with that is, this year anyway, is the fact that, who would win? Who would win that match? Sting has never had a match in WWE, so why would they pit him against somebody that is the epitome of WrestleMania and The Undertaker? Right now, all signs point to Sting versus Triple H, although that storyline from November, freaking 3 months ago, wasn't ever followed up on. 2 months ago, but it seems like forever. The fact that Sting came in, dropped Triple H on his head, the Authority was, quote, gone, that you knew was going to come back, and then we never had a follow-up. So it's interesting that you hear Sting every once in a while, but to me, it's Sting and Triple H at WrestleMania, and probably The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. Why Bray Wyatt? Because Bray Wyatt has been super strong. He's been just beating people cleanly, Dean Ambrose. So, hey, I'm cool with that. They have good personas, or very similar personas that I think might match up well with each other. And it elevates Bray Wyatt, who's a young talent, to the next level. And that's all what it's all about, building new stars. So, now, the final question. Will we ever see the Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin, in one last match? I would say 50-50 at best. I think I wish for it every year. And every year that goes by, there's that chips away at just another chance of it happening. Every year that goes by, Father Time is a factor. To me, there is one last opportunity, and that is at Cowboys Stadium at WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, Texas next year. That is the final it for me. I think we may see another Stone Cold Stunner or two. Of course, he may come out as the GM one night, as a co-host of GM or whatever. He's going to come out, drop a couple of stunners, do a couple of beers. That's great. I'm cool with that. But as far as an actual match, WrestleMania 32, with the opportunity to break all attendance records in Dallas, Texas, WWE will promote the hell out of that match. And I think they would set attendance records if promoted correctly and if given a ton of time to promote correctly. Austin has said on several occasions that the stars all have to align. It has to be good for the company and great for him. And I agree. Stone Cold has some of the highest expectations of himself. That he has higher expectations than we do of him. So it's going to take a lot of preparation. They got to find the perfect opponent, the perfect storyline. So again, the stars all do have to align. I'd give it a 40% chance of happening, 50 at best. They really have to find somebody. It was going to be Punk. Punk obviously is in MMA. Who is it? Don't know. But if it was going to happen, the stage is WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, Texas. So the place, to me, couldn't be better. So that's 1 star. Second star is an opponent, and the third star is the storyline. So 50-50 at best. Hopefully we will get to see the Texas Rattlesnake one last time. The biggest superstar of all time. So, hey, I'm rooting just like the rest of you. All right, guys, I'm going to head out into the sunset here, but hopefully next week I will have Donald Wood from Ring Rust Radio. If he's gracious enough to come on again, I'd really appreciate it, and hopefully we can get him on here and have another great discussion. You guys will really enjoy the interviews we have, and if you guys have any questions, though, send them in, questions@mattsmadness.com. You want me to ask him any questions, do so at that email address. You can do so on my website at mattsmadness.com, Matts_Madness on Twitter. So tons of ways to get in touch, tons of ways to ask me questions, and I really do appreciate you guys listening. and I will catch you guys next time.